We started the project last summer, and had kind of expected that once we started publicising the programme, we sent information out to more than 1,000 organisations that went onto websites, that there would be a surge of applications and there would be a deluge by people wanting to get involved, and we kind of waited, and actually it was a very slow trickle. So we sort of went back to the drawing board and had discussions with colleagues in the Scottish Government and thought, what can we do to make the grant programme more accessible and to improve the take-up. One of the things we looked at was the actual grant threshold. If we were able to make it a bit bigger, at the same size as SOS's, that might encourage more organisations to come forward if they were able to buy in some resource to help them with projects. So we increased the grant threshold up to £10,000. And we also increased the threshold, the income threshold of the organisations as well.
I'm leading on the Stand Up to Sectarianism piece of work that we're leading with our partners, Girls Brigade, Boys Brigade, Scouts Scotland, Girl Guiding Scotland and Clubs for Young People Scotland. And we have £20,000 to give away as part of the project, and it's all part of a kind of progression, if you like, of the kind of work that we do. We have training, awareness raising training for anti-sectarianism and skills building. We have peer-led education work and also training for workers in terms of peer education. And then we have the small grants fund, and then there's networking. The important thing is to make anti-sectarianism a subject that people want to talk about.
So we wanted to look at what those issues were, and in particular what came out of it was the songs, Fields of Athenry and all those kind of things. We looked at how a lot of these young people sing these songs on the terraces, and we have the Orange March go right by Tollcross YMCA. They don't understand the historical content and the reason for what those songs are all about. So we did our project based around that.
The overall aim of SOS is to enable people to challenge the existing attitudes, behaviours and assumptions which contribute to bigotry, sectarianism and division within our society. One of the ways in which we do that is by giving grants to community-based projects in the Glasgow and the surrounding local authorities, with a view to those projects developing and delivering anti-sectarian work at a local level. We believe that it's the people who live and work in communities that are best placed to tackle the issues in their own communities. Today we've got two projects with us from SOS. We've got the Bauer Media Academy and we've got the Bridgeton project.
We've been able to recruit really diverse group, and actually a lot of times they're hard to reach groups. People who don't normally apply for other learning opportunities or training but want to come into our radio stations and our studios and do this. So that's been the sort of the mechanism of bringing people in, and then what we've done in a number of different projects, including this one, is then use media training as the vehicle that allows participants to explore subjects, to work things out for themselves.
I think there are big things that we're learning over this last few years, and I want to be clear that what we've been doing over the last few years is about trying to build as much the evidence base, because every attempt so far to deal with this issue has been a kind of top-down attempt, and I don't think that works. I think what you need to do is go into communities and find out how they're experiencing it, how it differs from community to community. Geography makes a difference as well. And then begin to learn from that what are some of the things that you can do to deal with it. The people who are delivering the projects across the country on the ground in their communities, and the desire of these communities that they're working with to make their own lives better and their children's futures brighter. We no doubt that we're moving in the right direction. And wasn't that wee film from Bridgeton absolutely amazing? That was a fantastic little advert of not just the issue of tackling sectarianism, but how that can also be turned into a very creative and positive thing for a community to begin to reimagine itself. And that has benefits beyond simply dealing with the sectarianism. That has a bigger and wider benefit, and we shouldn't forget that. If we tackle this small corner of Scotland's problems, that will have an energising effect in a much wider arena. So we hold on to that thought.